In today's video, I'm going to walk you through what real estate tools you need to use to succeed in 2024. I'm going to show you, based on my P&L, what it is I'm actually paying for, what tools I'm canceling, which ones I'm maybe on the fence on, as well as what just the bare minimum ones you need to succeed if you're just starting out or if you're on a budget. Let's dive right in. So one of the important things about doing good bookkeeping is being able to look in your P&L and audit, like, what subscriptions am I actually paying for? Where are my dollars and cents going? So I got my iPad out and jotted down and kind of color coded what all the tools are that I'm using, which ones I'm going to keep using, which ones I'm going to cancel, and which ones you may or may not use. We'll throw this up on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about as I go through it. But the first one I've got is Carrot, like template websites for real estate investors. I've been a Carrot user, since 2014. They cost me $219 a month. I use Resimpli for my CRM. I've been on Resimpli since tail end of 2019. I think I was their 13th user. That's costing me right at $300 a month. We use Reonomy for commercial data. So if you're prospecting for things like apartment complexes, hotels, self-storage, they're the gold standard. Unfortunately, they're not cheap. They're $349 a month on a 12-month contract. So you're not getting out of there for under $4K a year. I use Call Porter, my answering service. I have a business partner in there, so it's not like I just get to use them for free. My bill with them is typically $500 plus a month, somewhere between $500 and $1,000. We use Skip Genie in order to find sellers, things that bounce back on return to senders, things of that nature. I'll talk about how we use that and what we don't use it for in a minute. That's $58. Rehab Estimator Pro to figure out putting together budgets, scope of work, what that costs. That's $49 a month. We've got REI Sift. REI Sift is $149 a month, but there are some overages there I'll get into in a second. PropStream is data provider. Love PropStream. I've used them for a very long time. They're at $99 a month. I've got Deal Machine at another $99. Mojo Dialer for cold calling at $99, and Really Flow at $149, another data provider. So first thing let's cover is a couple of these that have overage potential. So Call Porter, your usage, your bill is going to go up or down based off usage. So if they take a bunch of calls, they're on the phone a long time, you're going to pay more. If you don't have a ton of calls, you're going to pay less. Skip Genie is $58 a month for 100 searches, but there are some extra costs there. So we use what's called their smart credits, which I think they cost a cent or something, to figure out if somebody's on the do not call list or not. Our internal SOP, if somebody didn't reach out to us first and they're on the do not call list, we simply don't call them. But you can pay more for that if you use more than just those first 100 searches that are included. REI Sift is a list stacker, data management, CRM type platform. With REI Sift, you pay as you upload more credits beyond a certain point. So I know as I was uploading my records initially, I was constantly paying little overages. So it wasn't just that $149 a month. So let's get the good out of the way. We'll then hit the mid, then hit the bad. So what am I keeping? So I'm definitely keeping Investor Carrot. I've had thousands of leads come through my site. It's literally made me more money than we've tracked at this point. Definitely keeping Resimpli. I've tried all the Podio-based BS. I've audited CRMs and packages that are built on Salesforce, and they all suck. I'm sticking with Resimpli. Works for me. Reonomy, I'm going to keep paying for because I'm on a 12-month contract. Just kidding. I've renewed for 2 or 3 years. Well worth it, right? You pull one commercial deal and that $349 you've paid for yourself for a very long time. Call Porter, I'm going to keep using. A, because they're my company, but B, I don't want to have to take my own calls. So that's not going anywhere. PropStream, not going anywhere either. It's where I'm pulling 90% of my data out of at this point. And Deal Machine, not going anywhere either. I'm getting my seniors with equity data from there, like I posted in a video a little while back. They also have a lot of good crossover stuff with PropStream. They've got some free skip tracing numbers and stuff, which I've done a video on before. In another video, we'll talk about if I had to go bare bones, how do I pick what I'm going to use, right? All of that totals up to $2,070. Literally 24,000. Guys, my last year as a W-2 employee, I made $23K pre-tax. I'm getting, it's not even nickel and dimed, like, $100 and $300 bill to death a month on these, right? All joking aside, like one deal pays for all of this for years, right? I guess it depends on the size of the deal. 1 to 2 deals, and I'm covered for the entire year without it costing me anything. I'm dropping $24,000 a year, but you guys have got these Instagram, YouTube gurus telling you can do this with no money, no cost, no risk. Ask them if they're affiliates of any tools. If there's really no money, no cost, why are they recommending you go sign up for subscriptions that they get paid off of, right? Several of these I have affiliate links for. Some of them I just don't. It's just a tool I use and like. Like Reonomy, for instance. They don't pay me anything. I've just used them. I've made a lot of money, so I share it with you guys. Now, what they'll probably tell you is like, well, it doesn't cost you any money to actually do the real estate part, which is also crap. It will in some way or another. It just costs you money to use the tools and the company we recommend for the LLCs and all this other BS. So kind of the whole heart of this video is let's talk through what your full tool stack could look like if you're up in marketing versus just starting out. So Mojo, I put on this list because I know a lot of people use it. We don't use Mojo. So that would be just an instant like, cool, I'm down to, $1,970. With cold calling, if you're going to do it, don't recommend it. I've done videos and stuff on it. You want to use a single line dialer, like you're calling one person at a time. Not a triple or power line dialer where somebody's picking up and getting dead air. Like that sucks. Nobody wants that. Resimply includes a single line dialer, so I don't need that. Rehab Estimator Pro. I like Matt Hedstrom, was the guy that built it. I've had him do some calls for CCF. I think he's an incredible human. I enjoy a lot of the stuff he does personally with his family. I just didn't really use the tool that much. They got kind of bought out. Wasn't a fan of that transition and some of what was promised and done and not done. So that's actually one that I'm canceling. Like I'm not using it. Why am I paying for it? Kind of a thing. The third cancel on here for me is going to be REI Sift. Nothing against the company, nothing against the founder or anything like that. It's just simply a tool that I'm not using. I've been paying for it. I couldn't tell you the last time I logged in and actually used it. And that's because Resimply now covers that functionality with their data stacking. Now, let me be clear, right? Resimply is a CRM provider that has data stacking. REI Sift is a data stacking, data management, whatever you want to call it, tool that has CRM-like functionality. A lot of these guys will kind of like, we can do everything. They really can't, right? Like Deal Machines Driving for Dollars software is 100 times better than Resimply's because it was their core business focus for so long. Now, let's talk about the two that are like maybe cuts for me. Skip Genie. So I can get a lot of value out of Deal Machine skip tracing data and other free sources. So that's like I don't know that you need to pay for it. If you're trying to replicate my tool stack, we really only use Skip Genie like when we've exhausted all options and we're really trying to find someone in particular. The second like maybe cut on this for me is going to be ReallyFlow. I did a reel on this. If you see any real estate investor talking about their brand new AI software that tells you who's guaranteed to sell, it's a white label of ReallyFlow. I've had ReallyFlow for a really long time. I do think the AI feature is kind of cool, which is why we still have an account there. But it's, as our team described it, it finds like the worst of the worst. So it's honestly not something we've used heavily or even marketed to for a while, but it is just kind of a little of a different flavor than the other data tools. So we've covered what tools I'm using. That's $2,000 a month. For a lot of you guys, that's overkill. I'll give you guys some real examples in here, right? Callporter has a plan that's like $59 a month. You probably don't need to be on their top tier one. Carrot has a plan that's like one website, not three. I have three because I have a couple different sites. That's like $79, $89 a month, not the $219 I'm paying. If you're not doing commercial marketing, you don't need to pay for Reonomy, right? So there's a lot that could be skimmed out of this based off of what you're actually using. As I was going through shooting this, I realized I've never seen anybody actually do a video on what tools they're using versus what's the bare minimum that somebody else could be using. So I cut this down from $2,070 to $298. I'm going to walk you through what you get with one versus the other and what you're still missing. So let's get to bare bones. I'm going to take you from like $2,100 a month down to sub $300. And we're going to do that by dropping everything but Resimpli and Deal Machine. So you're going to need a data provider. The reason I chose Deal Machine over PropStream is that they also include phone numbers. Now, when it comes to actually list polling at scale like I'm doing, I think PropStream has a better interface. I've done videos on that in the past. That hasn't changed. But if I could only pick one for you, let's give you the one that also includes phone numbers. If you're on a budget, you could look for people that are not on the do not call list, reach out to them and see if they want to sell. Perfectly legal. The other reason I included Resimpli in here is things like the ability to work and follow up with your leads consistently. If you build good fundamentals in this business, like using a CRM, like working your leads, like using tasks, those are going to scale with you. Similarly, like in the gym, if you have bad form and you do bad lifts, you're going to hurt yourself at some point as you start to get bigger, right? It's not hard to like use a notepad to work leads. When you have 3 leads, when you have 300, good luck, tracking all that in a notepad. Now, the other reason I included Resimpli on here, they include like seller websites. Now, I'm not canceling my Carrot account. I've been there for years. The SEO works, the conversion works. I've got concierge designs. Like, I'm not rocking that boat. It's a money printing machine for me. That being said, if I was just starting out and on a budget and I could save myself the $219 a month, sure, why not? And I hope you know I have your best interest at heart here because I'm a Carrot affiliate. So it'd be great for me to be like, oh no, you definitely need Carrot and PropStream pays me too. You definitely need PropStream. Like, I could totally do that BS, but I'm not. What you need is somewhere to work your leads, somewhere to pull your lists, and the ability to find contact information for people when you're just starting out. I also want you to have the website for credibility. That's one of the first things we teach inside of CCF. Now, I do have Call Porter on here in yellow at their like $59 a month tier. It is my company, right? So I'm going to be a little bit self-serving here, I guess. But it's really, can you afford to miss calls or not, right? Even if you're taking your own calls, having somebody that can pick up on nights or weekends or when you're out on a date makes a lot of sense. The reason why it's in yellow, though, it's not absolutely crucial to you like being in this business. I have 3 other options that I included that I actually use on both sides that I think you should check out just because they're free. True People Search has pretty solid phone numbers and contact information for most people. Second one is DealCheck. I think it's dealcheck.io. A fantastic tool for figuring out if you're going to actually make money on a property or not. They have like a comping section. I would use Deal Machines like MLS data. That's going to be better than like what DealCheck is ripping from Zillow, similar solds or that kind of stuff. But they have some really good calculators. So if you're new and you're terrified of like blowing a deal, run it through there and figure out if you're actually going to make money on it or not. The third one on there is Family Tree Now. If you're going through True People Search, looking to try to find heirs of a property, that can kind of help you see like, hey, who else is potentially connected to this person? So we've talked about what I'm using. We've talked about bare minimum. You're probably going to end up right somewhere in the middle of the spectrum. Maybe you use most of what I use. Guys, the stuff I use, I only recommend to you because it's actively making us money. Maybe you end up more on the other side where like, hey, it makes more sense for me to keep my costs low when I'm just starting out. The what I'm using tool stack is more like a business that is fully up and running. It doesn't even get into actual marketing dollars, like what I'm spending on direct mail or radio or CTV or pay-per-click or vendors for that kind of stuff. Similarly, with this bare bones tool stack, you can't just spend $298 a month, sit back and think you're just going to like make money hand over fist. You're going to become a millionaire overnight. You have to be doing some sort of outbound prospecting. My number one most consistent source of deals has always been direct mail. I know a lot of people have had really good luck driving for dollars. So if you want to go like the smaller budget route, hey, in Deal Machine, like the driving for dollars is included. Go look for ugly places, tag them and send them pieces of mail. If you're like me, I don't want to drive for dollars. I'm just going to pull a bigger list. I'm going to spend more money on marketing. My recommendation to you is that is direct mail, or if you're going to do cold calling, make sure you're abiding by the do not call list. Hopefully you guys enjoy videos like this. I don't think I've ever seen one done on this topic in the real estate investing space. So many people, myself included, honestly, are affiliates of these tools that it can be kind of tricky of like, well, what all do I need? What all should I be paying for? So hopefully you found this helpful, regardless of which end of the spectrum you're on. I'm aware there's other tools out there. There's other data providers. There's other CRMs. This is what I'm personally using and what I know to work. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch today's video. Again, my name is Ryan Dossey. I'll talk to you guys next time.